these last few weeks have been so busy, and there's a lot going on this upcoming week. Thank you so much to you all for getting your day going with us as we help you plan for the big events in your neighborhood.
The Weather Channel, of course, has you covered from coast to coast. And as this new round of severe weather threat ramps up, we really got to pay attention.
And those storms start today and then rolls right into the late week. It seems like every single week we cannot catch a break. There's a new system that's causing a multi-day threat.
Yeah.
And this week is yet another one.
We do it again. This is Thursday. You can see we've been cycling through the maps every single day. We've got that risk of severe weather. And, you know, impactful too, because now we're talking people traveling, kids are getting out of school. There's so much happening that you might be distracted, you know.
So all important to stay tuned to the weather and any watches or warnings or anything that might happen in the next couple of days. And this is not just in the plains. Cities from the Great Lakes all the way to the deep south will need to keep it.
And you're probably thinking, tell me a story I haven't heard before. This has been the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe even 5 weeks now here. We've seen these repeated rounds of storms in some of the same areas. So we start tomorrow probably with a cluster of storms. We'll start through the day that we'll watch, and storms developing throughout parts of the upper Midwest as well. So those lifting up into Canada, and then the front tracks east. That's smashing east. It goes slowly, and out ahead of it, we will see an elongated area of possible severe weather, but also rain. And that's going to repeat itself in some of the same areas because, again, the front is not smashing east. We have a pretty strong high pressure in control for now, blocking it. And that's going to mean that we get multiple chances of thunderstorms, which all could bring some heavy rain. We'll be watching those southerly winds bring up the moisture, kind of setting the stage for the atmosphere to just keep reloading with more rainfall as we see that multiple storm threat evolve. Thursday's forecast, now we bring in parts of the Ohio Valley. We've got southern Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia is in that storm threat, and also back into Texas as well, where we could see severe weather back here. So we have another threat with possible thunderstorms going severe. It is May, you know, that time of year where you expect to see these kind of storms in this area of the country, and we certainly have it. Dallas, Fort Worth, Shreveport, Little Rock, you know, all spots that not only have been stormy lately, but have had a lot of rainfall lately. And so we do have that risk of heavy rain causing flash flooding. We'll watch from Dallas there and a corridor all the way up through central Arkansas, including around Little Rock, and extending into West Tennessee, including Memphis. Dallas, our storm threat starts on Wednesday. And look at this, Wednesday, Thursday, again on Friday, we've got the chance of thunderstorms. Then on Saturday, we finally get a break, but boy, do we start heating up, and temps are in the 90s. Humidity is still going to be up as well. You notice those overnight temperatures aren't really dropping. Rainfall could be adding up, more than 3 to 5 inches of rain in a couple of spots. Talked a lot about the southern plains up here, but also upper Midwest, there may be some pockets too of heavy rainfall through at least midweek. Molly.
And if you're among the millions of people planning the highways and the skyways.
Busy weekend coming up. And I know
goodness,
it's already been busy at the airports here. Just wait till this weekend.
They're predicting a record number of travelers. So if you have travel plans at the airport, make sure you're giving yourself plenty of time. But also if you're traveling by car, maybe start thinking about those rush hour time frames and how to avoid those.
We're going to show you some of the times to avoid actually when it comes to travel. Interesting how much train, bus, and cruise is up by more than 5.6%.
I've heard cruise travel has exploded recently as far as how many people are booking cruise travel. So, you know, if you are interested in that, maybe you might want to look at it sooner than later.
Well, here's a look at the forecast, too. That makes a big difference, right? Your Friday forecast, well, rain to contend with across the eastern half of the country on all the interstates. Now, Florida still looks dry, but hot. You need good working AC in your car if you're driving to Florida.
Friday, here are some of the airports that could be impacted as we start off the holiday weekend. If you're traveling on Friday, you might want to have a lot of patience, have a plan, a book, maybe a good book at the airport if you find a delay.
Now, AAA expects the worst travel day for the Atlanta area to actually be Saturday, with the timing being in the afternoon, about 4:45. Traffic volume expected to be more than 50% than usual.
You combine that with the fact that we're likely going to see some rain in the southeast on Saturday as people are trying to travel. It's really the eastern half almost of the country that embedded in some rain and thunderstorms just as people are trying to get to those holiday destinations.
I know. All right. So we'll keep watching the weather for you. And if you're heading to the beach, we've got to look at that forecast too so you can plan ahead. Well, thanks for getting your day going with us as we help you plan for the big events in your neighborhood.
And the Weather Channel, of course, has you covered from coast to coast as a new round of severe weather threat arrives not just today, but also tomorrow in parts of the Midwest.
You really don't have time to catch your breath because every single week the atmosphere is reloading. So storms start today, but that rolls all the way through the late week. Behind us, you can see every single day has a new threat. Many of the areas repeating threats.
Right. That's, I think, part of the challenge is you get multiple chances. It gets very stressful day after day to have to be dealing with this storm risk.
Yeah, you get storm fatigue and say your area doesn't get hit, but you have another risk the next day. You're like, okay, maybe I might be okay this time. It's never safe to assume that.
Right. And, you know, we're going to be dealing with the rain threat, too, considering all these spots get inundated day after day. So, and more flooding concerns.
Well, cities from the Great Lakes to the Deep South will need to keep an eye.
It was a tough weekend. We say that every weekend. There's been a lot of storms, and we've got more to go. Thank you so much for getting your day going with us as we help you plan for the big events in your neighborhood.
Weather Channel, of course, has you covered from coast to coast as a new round of severe weather sets up, not just for today, but for the next couple.
And those storms start today, really. Let's go back to yesterday.
Right.
And they roll all the way through late week. Every single day, at least until Thursday, we have the chance for severe weather, and we could see wind being a big feature like we have for the past couple of weeks. I mean, take example what happened in Kansas yesterday with the dust storm that blew through Great Bend.
Should we show that?
I think we should.
Let's show that. Let's go back to Kansas. This is great.
Cities getting multiple days with thunderstorm chances. We're going to start the clock looking at tomorrow, and this is a risk of storms moving up into Minnesota, through Iowa, down into parts of Missouri, including Kansas City. This is 6 o'clock. So we'll see a line of thunderstorms probably developing, and along that, as we get through the overnight hours into your Wednesday, and then throughout the day on Wednesday, out ahead of the front, there will be thunderstorms. The front's on the move, but it's not the kind of front that's smashing eastbound. In fact, there's a pretty strong high pressure that holds it at bay for a couple of days, so we end up with storm chances in the same areas for a couple of days. Wednesday's forecast all the way from Texas right up to Cleveland to Ohio. Look at this. So we're watching for a widespread area of thunderstorms. This is Wednesday. Thursday doesn't look a whole lot different with more thunderstorms coming in to some of those very same areas. The rainfall may be heavy at times. The atmosphere is pretty saturated, so we'll watch for that concern. Then you see that Thursday forecast. The front scooches a little bit, but we still have Texas and we still have parts of Arkansas, including in Little Rock. Day 2 of getting into thunderstorms and potential heavy rainfall. That could lead to flash flooding concerns. Dallas, we got 3 days in a row with storms, and then it's just hot and humid for the weekend.